Close to the end, I want a couple of things I want to mention here. I just want to throw them out. That the theater is located, is that the Ham Building?
It is.
It is the Ham Building.
Beautiful building.
It is. The lobby in particular is
And the
really
theater
nice.
itself is just lovely.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
People who want tickets can call 651-291-7005 for tickets. And there'll be other information we'll get to later, but I just wanted to stick that in. You got a couple, we don't have much time left.
Just one quick question.
Oh.
What can the audience expect when they go to this Sherlock Holmes? Is it going to be drama? Is it going to be laughter? Is it going to be romance? Is it going to be suspense? Or is it going to be the whole ball of wax?
All of those things.
It gives the audience everything they want. It really does. I would say the first thing that they'll do is laugh. It's got quite a bit of laughs in it, but it's got a lot of suspense in it, and there is a little tinge of romance.
Lily Langtry and
Lily Langtry is in this.
And
No,
Sure.
doctor.
And well, who knows?
Who knows?
Lily Langtry.
Oh, I like that.
Yes,
All
so
right.
you'll have to see.
The great misogynist. Yes.
Holmes?
Holmes, yes.
Yeah. Well, you know, well, it's been great, and the time has gone too fast, and I have more questions, but we're not going to have time to
This was
ask
wonderful.
them.
You were terrific.
So
Thank
we
you so
appreciate
much.
having
Thank you.
you
Thanks for
very
having
much.
me.
Yeah.
We hope
Thank you.
people
Very
will go to the show,
Me too.
and we'll probably see you down there.
Yeah.
Good, good. Thank you all. very
That's it for right now. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back in a minute. Well, now, that was a really interesting interview, and we have a few minutes left.
Fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely
I'm
fascinating.
sorry we didn't get to all your questions,
Yeah.
but you had something
Yeah, I wanted
else
just to follow up on something. Sherlock Holmes, we talked a little bit about in the interview with David about William Gillette, who personified Sherlock Holmes on the stage. Later, it became Basil Rathbone, who most of us think of when we think of Sherlock Holmes, because of the way he was played in so many
not
of the
anymore.
movies.
I mean,
there are many. But still, there are people who go, "Oh, but Basil Rathbone was the
I think
quintessential
every
Sherlock
generation
Holmes."
has their Sherlock Holmes.
Who do you think is this generation?
Jeremy Brett.
Yeah, I was
only
just
if you
gonna say-
watch. Only if you watch PBS.
Oh, he was so perfect. He looked like the pictures in the Strand magazine, and he was perfect.
I
Quirky
think,
and-
well, you should go to the website and look at the picture with the Lily Langtry's back,
Okay.
the man who plays Sherlock Holmes in that publicity photograph. It's a really interesting, for me, I've never been into Sherlock Holmes very heavily, that's a very interesting, and it says Sherlock Holmes, that pose, that image, and I looked at him and I thought, oh, that's really Sherlock Holmes.
I think on the PBS series, they actually posed some of the some of the pictures in the Strand or the drawings in the Strand, and because you could see them. I mean, in my memory, I have them, and you could see them incorporating those, and love Sherlock Holmes. Love Sherlock Holmes.
I would love to know everybody who's played Sherlock Holmes over the years because there have been all kinds of iterations. I'm thinking of the 7% Solution with,
Oh yeah.
I can't remember his name now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did a terrific job.
Sure.
But that's an interesting question. There are characters in literature who, once they move to the big screen, that's all we can see. I'm thinking Humphrey Bogart and Philip Marlowe. Whenever I think Philip Marlowe, whenever I read Philip Marlowe now, I'm seeing Humphrey Bogart.
Right.
Atticus
You do see
Finch.
that, right.
Whenever I read To Kill a Mockingbird, I'm
But
seeing
it's
Gregory
the same
Peck.
thing. If I know a writer, I hear that writer's, and if I know that writer,
do you really?
I hear that writer's. I hear you when I
Not
read
the
your
ca-
books. I hear you when I read your books.
I hear you when I read my books, too.
You do.
No, I'm just kidding.
That would be interesting. Transference of some kind.
When I started out writing, my first 3 or 4 books, just as a either sentimental or superstitious thing, I picked a name from a Sherlock Holmes story, and I put it in my books. I did that for years.
With each of the books? Wow.
Yeah.
But you know, I can see the hearing a writer that you know, but I think that goes even farther in that we hear actors now. If you go back and read a book that was made into a movie, like I was thinking of one. Well, any one of the Hammett books, for example, or the Chandler books.
Sure.
You hear the actor's voice, I think, even more.
When we read The Maltese Falcon last year, you know, I honestly didn't hear Humphrey Bogart as Sam Spade. I didn't think there was a good translation there. But the Fat Man, I saw Sidney Greenstreet as the Fat Man. He sounded exactly
Absolutely, and the little Weasley guy.
And Joel Cairo, Peter
Cairo.
Lorre Strode are straight from the book. You know, read the book, those are the characters.
And also when we read the Postman Always Rings Twice.
Yep.
Not the Jack Nicholson incarnation, but the earlier one. I saw those characters. So yeah, you know, I don't see Catherine Turner when I think of V.I. Warshawski.
No, that's interesting.
But,
well, that was such a disaster as a movie.
It was indeed.
And she was miscast in it, and so you know.
The movie was a compilation.
Horribly so.
Yeah.
So we've, as the boys on Click and Clack say, we've managed to waste another half hour.
I had so much more things to say to enlighten you.
Well,
about Sherlock.
A little bit.
Have to wait.
We could do another program. We could do a reprise, or maybe we could do a critique of the play. We'll all go to play, and everybody else will go to play, right? And we'll. Then we'll come and do a critique. But we have to mosey on down the trail, as somebody once said.
Right.
Sherlock Holmes and the Case of the Jersey Lily will run at the Park Square Theater through July 3rd. And they have a website where you can get all the information you need on tickets, ticket prices, and when the show will be running. So that's it for this program. I want to thank David Mann. I want to thank Ellen. I want to thank Kent. And we all hope to see you at the theater in the coming weeks. You can get additional information at our website, which is www.minnesotacrimewave.org. And there you'll find links to previous programs, and you can learn about books we've written. You can also subscribe to our occasional electronic newsletter. If you want to receive a list of the books we've talked about on our various programs, email us. Or if you have comments, email us, minnesotacrimewave@yahoo.com. Be sure to mention the title of the number of the program you're writing about. This one again is episode number 28. See you next time, and as always, read more mysteries.